Hello everyone. If you want to know how I made this short, then stay tuned. So what you need to do first is to fold your fabric into two to get the front block. So after folding the fabric into two, all you need to do is to get your measurement. So I have my measurement here, but as we proceed, I'll be mentioning each of the measurements one after the other, and you're going to understand perfectly. So the next thing now is to draw our margins. So I'm going to draw the first margin, which is going to serve as our waistline, and I'll draw the other margin. Okay, this is just to help you have to have straight lines that you are working with. Okay, so after drawing that margin, the next thing we need to do is to impute our measurement. So we have both the vertical and the horizontal measurement. So to get our crotch depth, which is the first vertical measurement we are taking from the waist to the crotch depth, all you need to do is to do your waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1. So for me, for my son, I have 6.5. The actual waist measurement is 5.5, but I added 1 to get 6.5. You will know why at the end of this video, why I added 1 to the waist measurement. Anyways, go up by 1.5 to get the hip line. Remember, we are still doing our vertical lines. 1.5 to get the hip line. For an adult, you go up by 2 inches. But for my son, I went up by 1.5 to get the hip line. Okay, so next we are going to get the full length. This is going to stop. This is a short, so it's stopping at the knee, around the knee. So the full length is 15. Okay, and I'm going to be adding 2 inches for sewing allowance. So you see me draw 2 lines. Okay, so the first one is the end of the trouser, and the second one is for turning it up, for finishing the trouser, the sewing allowance. So waistline, hip line, crotch line, and full length, and then the turning. All right, so now that we have done that, let's impute our horizontal measurement. So now I'm putting the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1. Like I said, that plus 1, you are going to see the reason at the end of this video. I'll use that one to shape the trouser. Okay, so just place whatever you get, which is 6.5, on all 3 lines, waist, hip, and crotch, and join it like this. Okay, so this is going to give us our crotch depth. Okay, and that's the waist. Okay, that's the hip, and this is where we are going to be putting our curves and everything. If you are doing for a female, please don't use the waist measurement divided by 4. For a female trouser, you would use the hip measurement at that point. Okay, because females want their hip to be fitted, but for the male trouser, just do as I am doing. Next thing we are going to do is get the crotch extension. The standard is 2, but for me, I'm going to be putting the thigh measurement divided by 2. Okay, so I'll place it on that crotch line. Thigh measurement divided by 2. I'll place it on the crotch line. So I'll mark. So when I placed it on the crotch line, you will notice that my crotch extension is just 2. That point, that place I'm touching is just 2 inches, okay, which is the standard for your crotch extension. Okay, so I'll just mark it like this. I'll just draw a curve, and this is called our crotch curve. So now, the next thing we need to do is divide the thigh. Remember, that's our thigh. Divide it by 2 to get the crease line. That's to get the middle of the short. I'm dividing it by 2, and I'll place it on the knee line. Can you see that same point? So I'm dividing the line by 2 using what the value I got for the thigh. I place it there and place it here, and then I'll mark the point and join. So I'm just trying to make sure that all the points are equal. I divided the thigh into 2, and the value I got, you see, I'm placing it that way from the margin on the other side, and I'm getting the line. Okay, so I'll just join the line like this. This is the middle of the short, also called the crease line or the ghetto. All right. So now I'm going to just, place my knee measurement on the knee. So your knee measurement around your knee, the measurement you got around the knee divided by 2. Okay. So for me, around the knee was 14. When you divide it by 2, you get 7. All right, so that's 7. You place it in the middle. 3.5 is the middle of 7, right? So you place that 7. You use that middle line to divide the 7 into 2. So 3.5 on this side and 3.5 on the other side. Okay, if it is a long trouser, you do the same thing. You get your ankle line and divide the ankle measurement by 2. But this is a short, so there is no ankle. Okay, so next thing we are going to do now is to join. I want a straight pant. So I just want to use my thigh measurement. Exactly what I have at my thigh is going to be what I will have at the bottom, because I don't want it to be narrower. I don't know if you understand. So I'm just going to clean off that first measurement I made. That was just to show you what to do. So I'm just joining the thigh straight down. So I'm just going to be having a straight trouser right from the crotch. Okay, so now I've done that. The next thing I need to do is to come down from the waistline on that crotch depth, come down by 1 inch. This is to accommodate the stomach. Okay, so the band is not just seated on the stomach, it will lay very well. So after doing this, all I need to do is to cut off. We already have our front block ready. If at this point you have enjoyed this video and you see that it's very easy and straight to the point, please subscribe to my channel. I'll appreciate it. And also you will get more videos like this if you are a subscriber. Thank you very much for watching and being a subscriber and just being here. I really, really appreciate you. So now, after cutting this out, of course, we need to do the back. So to get the back, we just need to do the same thing, fold our fabric into 2, just like we folded for the front, and place the front on it. You are going to see how I do that shortly. So now you can see I've folded fabric into 2 and I've placed the front on it like this. All we need to do is add allowances for sewing. All the allowances go to the back. So I added 2 at the bottom, 2.5 at the crotch extension. Okay, for the waist, go up by 2 and come to the side by 1. That is your sewing allowance for the waist. I only added 1 inch sewing allowance to the waist because the waist is meant to be tight. But for the leg, you add 2. For the crotch, you add what? You add 2.5. So just extend the lines to help you know what you are doing. Okay, then join the allowance. Can you see the 2 inch and the 2.5 allowance that I added? I just joined the line. So now we need to draw our crotch curve. To do that, join the point from that 2 inches extension all the way to the 1 inch out. Can you see? I'm joining it down to the front crotch curve. To the front crotch curve. That line is just to help us get a perfect curve. So I'm extending the hip line. All right. So I'll just draw a curve that will look exactly like what I did for the front. Can you see? And stop at that line. Just the way we did for the front. Okay, so that's how to get the back. And then at the waist, join the point to the initial starting point. Okay, from that top extension, just join it back to where you started the waist. And that is it. Just cut off. After cutting off, remember I told you that at the end of the video, I'm going to show you why we added 1 inch to the waist. Okay, that 1 inch was not necessary. It's just to give, allowance for the hip for my son and also to shape the trouser. Okay, so after cutting now, all we need to do is to shape the trouser. Have you liked this video yet? Have you given me a subscribe yet? Please smash the subscribe button, and I really do appreciate. So this is me cutting it off. Okay, So you cut off the bottom too, just like this. All the lines that you drew out, you just cut. All right. So that's me cutting. So after cutting out, like I said, you just need to take off that 1 inch from the waist. So see what I'm going to do? I'm just going to mark the 1 inch. See, just mark it like this and join it to the hip to form a shape. So the waist is not exactly like the hip, except if you want it to look exactly the same. You might want a box shaped short, you know, but for me, I want it to be narrower at the waist a bit. So that is what we have. Just cut it off and you can see it looks very perfect. That's the shape of our shorts. Thank you very much and see you in my next video.